The biggest challenge is to keep network alive. So we are under pressure, especially on the front line and these risky areas. So we have divided country in 3 zones, safety zones, where we are facing just the local missile attacks. Then we have this risky zone very close to the front line and the front line. Yes, and our main task is to support and to keep communication alive. This is first. And the second is a fast recovery of our network on the deoccupied areas. And the third is to support our customers, to support Ukrainians, to be online, to be in touch, to have access to the services, even in a case when they do not have money.
Telecom's infrastructure is notoriously very difficult in large landmass areas, whether we're talking about in the large emerging nations or in smaller European nations as well, and don't respect war zones and front lines and battle lines. That must be extraordinarily difficult on a very fast-moving basis of where to work out where your zones are and how base stations are affecting coverage, perhaps in the Russian-held areas compared with the Ukrainian-held areas as well. And potentially you're cutting off your own people if you cut off the areas that are held by the Russians.
Yeah, you're right. So quite a lot of our people are actually working in these risky zones. 150 Kyivstar engineers are taking risk almost every day. But somehow we are considering that this is our mission right now, is to provide customers with connectivity, this access to the information and to the digital services. So Ukraine is relatively digitized country, and for example, your financial service directly depends on the network availability and your ability to be online. So yes, it's serious risk. We are facing this risk. We are trying to protect our employees as much as possible. Yes, but we already have some losses.
Can I ask you about the demand story? Because we've seen even through the Western lens and beyond, when there's been an emergency situation during COVID, it can impact the amount of demand for data services. Clearly, your country going through extraordinary circumstances right now. What does that mean in terms of the changes you're seeing in behaviour and the demand that you're seeing from businesses to customers and emergency services?
Demand is in place, but demand was really affected in comparison to the pre-war time. And this was very much driven by the customers' migration. So more than 8 million Ukrainians migrated, either internal or external, outside from Ukraine. Okay, so for us, somehow we need to reconsider and to rework our network topography in order to satisfy the demand, because the demand moved significantly from, for example, cities to the rural areas, from Ukraine to the outside of Ukraine. And it was necessary to expand our capacity, and to upgrade our network as soon as possible. For example, we did an upgrade for almost 3,000 base stations with an LTE 900 standards in order to let people to be online, even in the rural areas across Ukraine. And there are quite a lot of changes related to this migration. So Ukrainian pre-war pattern is very different to the current situation.
Connectivity clearly very important, but what about cybersecurity at this stage to ensure that state-sponsored actors are not listening into important conversations? How have you been able to step up some of that security, and what is the threat at this point?
We are relatively strong in this area. Historically, the whole industry invests quite a lot in order to be sustainable, because it's not only about, let's say, how, sustainability of our services. It's also very much about protection of our customer data. But yes, you are absolutely right. The number of attacks increased in time since January 2022. Okay, so we had more than 100 really powerful and big DDoS attacks. And the biggest risk that we are facing is actually phishing and penetration into the network. We already did a number of steps, especially in the risky areas, where we moved our switchers from these risky areas to the safety zone in order to ensure that the whole network perimeter will not be penetrated by the Russians, by the cybercrime.
Oleksandr, can I ask you about the funding? You are there in Lugano with many other representatives discussing now with members of the international community what should happen next in terms of providing financial support. Is it, do you think, appropriate at this point and the right direction to go in to consider using seized Russian assets as a way of funding the reconstruction of Ukraine and for your business?
Yes, I'm in Lugano right now. Okay, so we are here to provide, not to ask, to be very fair, because telecom industry is relatively self-sustainable. So through our own funds, we are able to ensure recovery and even some modernization. Of course, we have changed our plans significantly. Okay, but what I see, not only Kyivstar, but all our competitors are doing their best. Okay, and refocusing their funds in order to answer current challenges, and this is very much about service continuity rather than anything else. Okay, yes, you already mentioned in your program, that Ukraine will ask around 750 billion US dollars for the recovery, for the massive recovery program. Okay, and from my perspective, so such platforms like Lugana, like United 24 are actually the best answer, because funds can be provided from different sources. Okay, but we need to have a transparent platform that will accumulate these funds, will ensure a proper control, okay, how these funds will be allocated to which projects based on which, I will say, business cases. And this was actually what was proposed by the European Commission yesterday. So Ursula von der Leyen, she announced that it will be a kind of international transparent platform that will manage all these funds. We as a Kyivstar, we provided a huge donation, actually huge in comparison, of course, to our scale, but we will provide 10 million US dollar donation to the United 24 focused on two areas, infrastructure reconstruction, okay, and Digital for Freedom initiative that was announced